Welcome to today's Software AG webcast titled, Measure Your Management System Against Other Global Innovators. Today's webcast will be introduced by Joseph Blondeau, ARIS Product Marketing Manager, Software AG. As we move through today's presentation, I invite you to submit any questions that you may have via the Q&A box, which is located in the lower right corner of your WebEx session. We will do our best to answer all of your questions. In the event that we are not able to answer your question, your submission will be recorded, and today's presenter will be back in touch with you as soon as possible. Additionally, today's presentation is being recorded. This recording will be available to you via YouTube should you wish to access it later on. To receive a copy of the YouTube link, please send an email to the webcast host. Before I turn today's presentation over to Joseph, I would like to briefly introduce you to Software AG. Software AG offers the first end-to-end digital business platform based on open standards with integration, process management, adaptive application development, real-time analytics, and IT portfolio management as core building blocks to help customers build their digital futures today. With over 45 years of customer-centric innovation, Software AG is ranked as a leader in many innovative and digital technology categories. Software AG has more than 4,300 employees and is active in 70 countries. It is now my pleasure to welcome Joseph.
Thanks, Will, and welcome from my side too. So let's have a quick start now. So looking at today's situation in many companies, I'm sure you already have heard such kind of comments and remarks in your company. So maybe some people are saying that it's a shame when people leave the company, the knowledge leaves as well, or that they are not sure that they have the right information to avoid strategic risk. Sometimes you also may hear that corporate information in your company is outdated and maybe not useful, so some employees. And also we see that people moan that nobody is sharing the knowledge and information about procedures and standards. So that's the reason why some people try to do the same with no real results. And maybe sometimes you've heard also that all these platforms, applications, paper solutions feel just like working in the 80s. So as you are taking part today in this webinar, I'm sure you've heard this similar statement and remarks that all go in the same direction. So it's about how do you manage the knowledge of your company. It's about how can you increase compliance, reduce risk, and at the same time, can you stay agile? It's about maintaining flexibility, but at the same time, secure up-to-date process standards. And also, how do you centralize your information so that your employees are empowered and you can maybe reduce training efforts? And last but not least, also, what about process adoption improvement so that you can reach better results in processes and also in quality? So we see all that, and you probably have the same experience. And at the same time, we see many enterprises on their way to digital business, but needing some kind of an equivalent, something similar to a GPS for their organization and transformation initiative. So yeah, you are listening to this webinar today, so I'm quite sure that you already at least have started to think about this and that you may have already some plans for a system, for a solution that will give you some guidance for your own company, that will give you some end-to-end visibility of standard and procedures and help you to steer towards digital business success. So to check your plans and also to get some new inspirations, we will give you in today's webinar some insights on what enterprise management systems with ARIS are, what they mean in today's world, and how you can benefit also from it. So it's my pleasure today to have two customers holding this webinar with me today. They will give you some insights and also some examples on their current strategies. We have first Wouter from Maersk, who will highlight our enterprise management system work in highly regulated industry and how Maersk use it to reduce risk. After that, later on in the webinar, Estan will support us. He's from Deutsche Lufthansa, and he will detail Lufthansa's mobile strategy to improve employee improvement. So both will even give a short demo and show some screens of the solution. So thanks in advance, gentlemen, for your participation. So let's go back and have a short review on the history of management systems. So indeed, we've seen in the last decades really tremendous development in regards to management systems. So we've seen traditional management systems have been successful and successfully used for a long time, and but they used to be very topic-specific and industry-specific systems. So, for example, we had quality management system, and they were mainly driven by repeatability, mainly driven by quality requirements, and we could see them mostly in the manufacturing industries. Internal control systems were more regulation-driven, and they were more seen in the financial and also in the service industry. And the third standard type of management system we've seen were some kind of corporate risk management system that were mainly meant to meet risk and security requirements. So they are quite common and used in regulated industry like oil and gas, chemicals, and pharmaceuticals. But even in one company, we've seen that many different management systems were working and tackling different topics. So that was the next logical step to move forward and to combine all these management systems with quality input, with enterprise architecture information, with document information, to combine all these into an integrated management system. And well, for a time it was good, but still for now it's not good enough because it missed some flexibility, some interactions, change that were needed in the digital world could not be implemented with such systems. So that's what now leads us really to the enterprise management system topics. That's really being at the heart of your enterprise, at the heart of your company. So basically, AMS will be the key for you as an organization in the digital age. But why? So you all know digital age brings complete new rules, it brings complete new market situations, and even these kind of new things are still changing all the time continuously. So what does that mean for you as a company? So that means as a company, you will need to, or you already need to transform continuously and really to support continuous business innovation. So if you don't do it, your competition will be more than happy to do it in your place. Differentiation, it plays in our customer-driven role, a major role. And if you do not differentiate on products and services and what you do good, probably the only way to differentiate will be the price, and I'm quite sure that's not what you intend to. And last but not least, customer centricity, because customer power is more and more normality. You will need really to constantly adapt to your customer requirements. So during this time of change, during all that, you will not be able, you cannot afford to reduce your quality, to take more risk, or maybe to be less efficient. So instead, the digital age and your digital transformation, well, is or should be an opportunity for you to increase your quality, to better manage your risk, and become more agile and more efficient. So basically, if you ignore it, that's probably the riskiest thing that you've ever done before, and AMS will be the way for you to cope and to survive in the digital age. So, well, that sounds nice, you may think, but really, what does this mean for us? How does this help us concretely, and how? So that's why, to become more concrete and to give you some real concrete ideas and topics that comes on with an enterprise management system, we've put some kind of list together, some to-dos or requirements for an enterprise management system, and that will go through these today. and within these 9 points, we will also include Wouter's and Essam's presentation on the dedicated topics. So if we look at the first rule, or at the first hint that we have for you, it's the M2M rule. So the M2M rule basically just states that your enterprise management system should include everyone and listen to everybody. So it's multi-directional, and you should really consider your complete organization in all directions, from consuming information about and to contributing information into the enterprise management system. So it should make it easy for them to find information in a very consumable and nice way, but it should be also easy for them to get feedback information into the system. Looking at number 2, get another pair of glasses. So not really for you, but your for management, your enterprise management system. It means that you should keep in mind that you serve different target groups. So this different target group of different requirements, the different content, and if they don't need different content, they maybe need it just in a different way, need it adapted to the specific needs. For example, it could be based on different roles that they have, or different regions they're working on, or even on languages. And number 3 is about reducing and securing your company and your system. So I guess you've understood it. It's really about reducing risk and securing your daily business, your day-to-day activities for the entire organization, because at least it's better to be safe, to have the right risk management system in place than being sorry in the end. So really managing and preventing risks will play a crucial role in your industry, in many industries, and is also really to be seen as part of an enterprise management system. So instead of taking a reactive approach to risk, you can take advantage of an enterprise management system and all the data it has, so that you can proactively mitigate and also avoid certain risk. So, and now I'd like to hand over to Wouter, as he will the one to give you insights on Maersk Drilling solution, on their challenges, and how they implemented their solution based on ARIS.
Thank you, Joseph, and good afternoon from Copenhagen, Denmark. I work for Maersk Drilling, which is, of course, part of the Maersk Group that I guess most of you know via the shipping containers. But in Maersk Drilling, basically what we do is operate offshore drilling rigs. And this beautiful ship you see in the background, that's one of these. It's actually called the Maersk Viking, typically. What we would call a next generation drill ship, built in Korea in 2013. Some 220 meters long, 42 meters wide, and the accommodation unit you can see on the left, just below the heli deck, accommodates about 230 people. Now these ships are built for typically for deep water operations. So this ship would be operating in water depths of almost 4 kilometers deep, and is able to drill down all the way down to 12 kilometers deep. Now, as you can already see on the picture, it's really packed to the brim with advanced automated machinery. But one can still imagine that this is not a risk-free environment. This is an environment that requires what we then call control of work. And this control is then in part offered by our enterprise management system. And then we have internal and external drivers really that enforce this need for a robust management system. We've got regulatory bodies and customers really that perform some 100 external audits each and every year, where they basically look for compliance against either standards or their own contracts. And then we are also internally interested in keeping our people safe wherever they may work, of course, and that is not only good for us internally, it also happens to be a great selling point because safety statistics, they're just a big deal in the offshore drilling industry. So we do another 50-ish internal audits each year. And these audits are basically where we look whether or not people comply or our employees comply with our enterprise management system. So in all these audits, essentially the management system plays a key role. And the management system I will demonstrate in a little bit. But maybe before I do that, let's provide a little bit of context. And I'm taking you about six-ish years back. Before ARIS meant anything to us, we had a paper-based management system, which essentially means that there are a bunch of procedures put into manuals. The communication vehicle, if you like, was a very basic SharePoint site with links to PDFs. However, offshore, where most of our work is performed, they were only available in managers' offices in hard copy. Often outdated, little user engagement, and really only focusing on part of our process landscape, only what happens offshore and directly supporting offshore. So then we found ARIS, and we started a company-wide project to essentially describe all our processes, both offshore and onshore this time, and then try to come up with simple flowcharts supported by procedures where and when relevant. Now, this basic structure still stands today. It is called Sirius, as per the guiding star, and it takes the shape of a pyramid, where the idea is that we need all sides to work together. So there are 4 parts, 4 perspectives, we call them. The process perspective, where we essentially describe how we do things. We've got the organization perspective, where we essentially map the entire organization so we can tell them what they are responsible for within the process. We map the entire compliance perspective, so we know all the compliance standards that we need to live up to. And finally, as it happens to be, there are always some activities that are just too detailed for flowcharts. So there would be, or essentially actually also by law, by authorities require us to keep them in a document. And all these documents would lie within the manual perspective. So that completes the pyramid. Now, when we did this initially, a lot of people were very impressed with the result. However, the problem was a little bit, our key customers offshore, the offshore users, they were less impressed. And soon more and more people started to join the chorus and show their discontent, if you like. And essentially, it forced us to ask the question, why? So what is happening out there? And I guess this is a summary of what we found. First of all, offshore connectivity. As it happens to be the case, connecting from a rig off the west coast of West Africa, sorry, that is a whole different ballgame than connecting from the office here in Copenhagen, where I am. In costs, we actually had anticipated or hoped that our training costs would fall, but as it turns out, people found the system easy to navigate, but hard to actually find what they were looking for, and that's kind of the crucial thing about the enterprise management system. Varying personas, an offshore user is just different than an onshore user. That's clear. Unknown user statistics in the world of big data and all of that. We just had little idea of how people use the system, and that meant that we couldn't get answers to questions like which processes and procedures are used most, or equally relevant, which processes and procedures are ignored completely. No data, no user statistics. Remote access. We've already seen before that there's some 100 external audits each year, and quite often as part of that process, the external auditor would get access to our systems beforehand, or to our management system beforehand, and rather than sending PDFs. Now we have to give access to entire systems. So how do you do that? And finally, contingency solution. And I'm sure for most of the people listening in today, it seems a rather silly question to ask, but we were asked that question by authorities, what if? So what if the power is down or the server is down? How will your offshore employees access those critical safety procedures then? So in essence, we start playing around with the notion of building a new management system or on top of what we already have in order to, one, solve the issues that you see on the screen right now, and two, really come up with a management system that is far more intuitive. And that would be, I guess, Series version 2, and I'll let you see how that looks right now by a short demo. Right, here we are. And I think, first of all, it's important to note that we do not actually have one management system. We have 20-something management systems. That's just because this allows us to provide access to local variations on top of global process effectively. Because, as you may imagine, not every drilling rig is operated alike. There's a big difference between how you operate a drill ship, the one we saw in the beginning, versus a jack-up rig, the one with the 3 legs going up. So a few basics on the design. It is the entire back end is still Aris. It's all Aris built, everything you see. The front end, however, is custom made. So the way we present the Aris data is different. On the left-hand side, there is a fixed menu. On top, there's a fixed search bar, and the central pane is where all the information is presented to the user. And if this design may feel familiar, then that's great, because actually that's what we were going for. This is built after Wikipedia structure, Wikipedia code. And there's a very good reason for that, I guess, because who's ever required training in usage of Wikipedia? Who needed a course in doing a purchase on Amazon.com or doing a Google search? So in essence, by having an intuitive and also recognizable management system, enterprise management system, we could turn our focus on what's really interesting, in my perspective, and that is the content of the system. So let's go into the Maersk Drilling headquarter profile. First of all, is essentially the 4 perspectives of the pyramid. And for this demo, we're interested in the processes, I assume. So we go into the process perspective, and we land really on top of the pyramid that provides access to the level 1 of processes. And this specific page shows the main process streams in Maersk Drilling. So we have a strategy, of course. We run some major projects, but essentially our core processes consist of getting a contract, ensuring that the rig arrives at location, and then start drilling a hole. There's a whole bunch of enabling and supporting processes that then support that core process. Let's go into quality assurance. Now, quality assurance, in essence, shows the processes that we believe we need to do proper quality assurance. That means compliance management on one side. That means process management. I saw a note that I wasn't heard. Is that correct? Just want to confirm that everybody can hear me.
Yes, we got you.
Okay, then I'll continue. So the quality assurance overview basically shows what we would consider good quality assurance, and that's compliance management, DPM, record control, audits, non-conformity handling, etc., etc. Now, underneath each model, then we would present a little bit of the basic information about the model, but also vitally who would own this model, who would be the person that is responsible for what is presented in this model. And that would also be the person that is then asked to review change requests to this model. And in this case, of course, the reason why I picked it, that happens to be me. If I click on more info, it also shows me the change history on this model. So I can see all the changes that happened, and there's a reference to a number over here. And that reference can be used in our revision system, where we can find all about who, what, where, when, etc. So let's take one of them. In this case, the audit process. Again, I would go down the pyramid, one level down to level 3, and I could find the basic steps of performing an audit, which would be prepare an audit, perform an audit, prepare and distribute the reports, and do some follow-up activities afterwards. Again, underneath the model, I would find the owner of that specific model. In this case, it's a different person that will be responsible for reviewing and approving change requests. And also, I find already here all the different supporting documents that support this process. As our experience has been that users often want to know an exact checklist or a procedure rather than the process flowchart. They're good for training and also after action reviews. If something went wrong, then you can put the flowchart up and discuss where in the handover phases maybe it went wrong. But for day-to-day work, quite often it's about picking up the right procedure. And these are over here. And if you can see, there will be, for example, a process checklist, as we call them, for an audit notification. On more info, I could actually find the very detailed revision history on that specific document as well. But let's go into one of the process steps. Now I pick perform audits. This essentially starts with several tabs. We have some generic information about the process step. So the description, we've got some reference documents that are specific to this process step. Again, you can open them if you're interested in that, but you can also find the process context in the flowchart tab. And that starts over here where we read from top to bottom, logical activities, starting with the lead auditor performing a set of activities like preparing, conducting opening meeting, conducting audit, documenting it, etc. Whereas in the end of the process, the auditee would need to agree and sign the audit summary. And that will allow us to continue into the process. Several of these activities might have supporting documents that help you perform these activities. And if I click on the process roles in the top, I would see all the specific job positions from the organization charts that could perform this role. So that's a little bit on how to execute or perform an audit. This system has been live for some 3 years. And let me jump back to the presentation because this whole experience of enabling this or building this system and then rolling it out, yeah, there were quite some learnings. I think, first of all, we saw a massive jump in user engagement, and we have about 300,000 page views each month within the entire system, and you have to imagine that we're only 4,000 company-wide, so I think that's quite a big number. And that comes hand in hand with lower training costs. Essentially, we've cut all training. There are some training videos right now. Otherwise, we use the existing buddy system. So every new employee gets assigned a buddy to show him or her around the first couple of weeks. And this would include systems like this. So we've also ended discussions on how to perform activities within the management system. If it's in the enterprise management system, that's the way you should perform that activity. If you disagree with that, please let us know. That's why we have a change request process. But otherwise, the system is the one that holds the truth. And furthermore, all those audits that I mentioned before, they have now a central reference system, not only for checking compliance, but also for the output of those audits. All learnings and improvements, they can then be fed back into the enterprise management system. So those all go hand in hand with some learnings as well. Well, one major thing is that we know now that working on systems does not equal working on systems content. And I think it's an interesting byproduct of having such a successful and widely used management system. It's that we've seen it grow rapidly because it's so easy to add content and it's out there to people actually use the system. And that makes it hard to control both quantity and quality of what is added to the system. So also, I think process management-wise, there's one thing about adding a process or procedure to a management system, and there's a whole different query on whether or not people comply with these processes and whether or not these processes are efficient and effective. And that requires process management, which we had too little focus on from the very beginning. And finally, as I mentioned before, flowcharts are useful for sure, but they're only part of the package. And I think balancing the complexity of the flowcharts and the need for documentation is vital. At least in our case, it has been vital. So keep it simple. So what's next? I think we already touched upon it briefly, but in essence, this work that we've put into the enterprise management system, the user interface mostly, has given us the license to look what is for me really interesting, and that is working on the system's content, so the processes and procedures that are available in the system, and that requires proactive process management, where ideally when we end up in a situation where we make decisions based on compliance and on data-driven decision-making, if you like. And automatically, as a natural output of that, I think that will lead to simplification and standardization of the content as well. Right, and on that note, I will end this short demo, and I'll hand over to Joseph. Thank you.
Thanks, Wouter, for highlighting well the importance of risk management and also showing our real implementation of enterprise management system can look like. So thank you very much. I can't click right now. Wait a second. I need to click through the slides. I'm there in 2 seconds. So yeah, now I would like to go further and check with you the other concrete to-dos that you need or you should consider to succeed with an enterprise management system. So if we look at the next point, number four, it's about embracing document management. So yeah, your enterprise management system needs to retain all necessary information. Also, Wouter mentioned it within in that case, within one single repository. But rather than repeating some textual description that you have, you can model them and reuse them in one central repository. So you can also there relate documents to video instructions, and so you can make your management system somehow efficienter and also more user-friendly. And so if you do so, it will help you there to eliminate uncontrolled documentation, which can be a problem, and also to give you the chance to enable every employee with the latest and also with the up-to-date information. Going further with this kind of requirements towards your enterprise management system, we have the 3 C's of enterprise management system. So what are the 3 C's? They are communicate, collaborate, and collect. So communicate information, we've seen that very good in the previous presentation. Communicate information instructions is vital, it's vital to do across the organization so that everyone, everywhere, and also at any time and in the right format, they get the right information. The second C is collaborate. So collaborate, of course, with some defined rules, with some structure, but in that case, so that everyone is really able to contribute their idea, to give their feedback, to support business and its continuous improvement, basically. And collecting feedback, the third C, collect, collecting feedback and data enables you to ensure that your process and your information in your management system are more efficient and that they are beneficial, basically, to everyone or to the right person in the company. And that brings you, or that brings us to the number 6, which is move your process. And move your process really stands for collecting feedback and changing the process continuously. So collecting feedback, bringing you to moving and changing and adapting constantly your internal processes. So making sure that your processes change and you adapt them to the market requirements throughout the organization. And that will be a big topic for your enterprise management system. The agility, Wouter mentioned it also before, is really making sure and creating a structure so that your processes have the right structure and the right base to be able to continuously change. So it's about managing agility. So if you want, or if you well, you need to improve continuously, you should first manage the process of changing all that stuff also. So that's to say your enterprise management system will be the base, the technical structure for structuring, for giving a base to unpredictable situations or changes. Because you know it will be changes, but you don't know what. So you just need to prepare on how to do that. And the enterprise management system will solve this for you and will give you the right tools to solve that and will give you some change management and governance support so that you can secure quick and safe updates of working ways and information. So you can manage feedback, you can manage change requests from employees, you can assess this feedback and information and approve that and also update it again to the end user so that they have the latest information. The process sushi is our 8th point. It may sound like a Japanese restaurant. It's not. It's really a pure digital age topic, let's say, because as you all hear all the time, we are now living in the age of the customer. And so it's important for you to retain and to attract customers so that you will need to provide really high quality in everything you do, so high quality towards your customers. And the process sushi here means that you will need to combine your internal procedures while ensuring all customers, critical customer touch points are well served so that you can become or that they can become a great customer experience, because it doesn't mean anything to a customer if your internal process is working very smoothly and it's all working fine, but this specific customer has a specific problem in interacting with your company. So really, that's a place where the enterprise management system should help you, should bring you so that you can consider the internal view, but also combine it with the external view, which is the customer perspective. And mobile, well, everything is mobile today. So yeah, of course, your enterprise management system should be. It's not just saying mobile. It's really the idea that if your enterprise management system is mobile, you should leverage your management system content so that you can use it for mobile use case. So it's not about putting a new interface, but it's really about having new use case and different situations, supporting different situations within your company. So because offering static process information and procedure information will be, it's good, but probably it's not good enough in all cases. So basically, I guess you've got the same situation in your company. You have employees, they need specific information in their specific ad hoc business context. So what does that mean? If I take an example, for example, a shop floor worker, for example, he needs a different information depending where and what he does. So many procedures for this worker should be adapted depending on its location, depending on the time, depending on the product, and so on. So these will be different content according to what it does. So and also employees in dedicated situations will need easy to consume information so that they can be empowered. So you can empower your business user with the right and dedicated information on the go. So that's the one hand. But on the other hand, you have also many employees needing an easy way to share their process information, to give their feedback right at the moment they have it, so right in the situation they are right in. So you will need there a solution so that they can contribute and capture content on the go. And that's basically what makes out an enterprise management system, and that's what ARIS Mobile provides, with some kind of framework and interface, let's say, so that you, as a customer, as an organization, you can develop really your custom mobile application that will give you some flexibility in getting more value of your enterprise management system. So in creating specific application personalized for your dedicated use case, depending on what you need and what your pain points and situation in the daily work is. And basically, that's what Deutsche Lufthansa did. So that's now Essam's turn to give us some details on Lufthansa mobile strategy. So Essam, that's your turn now.
Thank you, Josep, and welcome from my side to the webinar. I'm Essam, and I'm working for Lufthansa. Lufthansa is one of the biggest carrier of passenger and freight in Europe, and we have also some other airlines. It's like Lufthansa, Austrian Airlines, Swiss Airlines, Brussels Airlines, Germanwings and Eurowings, and also we have got freight carriers, and we have got maintenance at Lufthansa, and we have got about 120,000 employees in here. And in this webinar, I want to show you a project was placed in my department. I'm a project lead for process management, and I'm the application owner for ARIS and Lufthansa. And we was generating an app with ARIS RP. And with this ARIS RP, we have got some targets we have to do, or something we want to reach with this project. We are the
Essam, can you speak a little louder, please?
Yes, of course. I can try that.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry for that. So we have got here a summary what we have done with the project. We want to place and deliver process information to all devices with ARIS Mobile. We want to support the on-site employees in their working routine, so that means that every employee are able to go into the processes and to the process information. And the most important thing is that it should be easy, and it must be context textual for the working instructions. So that means if the worker is at a workplace in the shop floor, he can scan, for example, a QR code, and he will get directly the information for this workplace. So that means he has not to go into the publishing and search his processes and his area and his variant, so he can directly get the process information at the place he's working at. So this is the situation. We make the project with the Lufthansa Cargo, so freight, and the Lufthansa Cargos, they deal with many handling partners. So the handling partners is not directly Lufthansa. The employees need to be trained and guided on the job. And the problem is that we have got very complex handling procedures for packaging. So that means if we're changing the high employee turnover, we have to show all the process instructions to the new handling partners and show them how to handle with all the works we have. And the next very important thing is that they can easily understanding the process information, and they say directly and clearly that an EPC like a documentation hours is not very easy to understand, and they need an easier way to understand the process. And the last point of our situation is the language barriers. That means that along all the employees, we have got many people are not able to speak English or German, and all our processes are documented at least in English, maybe sometimes or in German, and most of our employees are not able to read the instructions or to understand them. So this is the situation, and now we want to go the next one. What's the solution for that? The solution is that we will create, or that we have created, an RS app called Process Guide, and it's very important that we get all information for our processes like documents, roles, detailed information, variant information, and so on and so on. And the most important thing for us is to provide multimedia like pictures and videos directly at the process. So we will see that in a few minutes in the live demo, how they can enter the pictures and the videos. So the live demo, the live app we have called Process Guide is including how-to videos, working instructions, safety policy, roles involved, and IT system information. That means the employees at the end of the day are able to enter all the information directly at the place they're working. They can see with the video how we can act at this working place. They get working instructions, how to do, for example, packing a pack, or what is the safety policy, what we have to do with dangerous goods, which roles are involved, so they could directly call roles or people are involved in the roles. And the very important thing is also IT systems, so they can know, hey, what kind of information systems or of IT systems I need at this process. If we go now to the app, I have to go to my screen. So this is the starting view from the app. You can enter your username and your password. Normally we have got integrated to the LDAP system, so everybody can insert here his ID number and his Lufthansa password, and he can directly click to log in. After logging in, he will get the first screen. So we get an overview and media screen. You see here we have nothing with any value-added chain diagrams or APCs or something like that. We have here a description, a short description about the process. We have got the name of the process, who's the owner, what is the last edition date. We can directly send an email to the owner in here, or we can open it in the publisher. Process Base is the publisher of Lufthansa. So we can, if you want to see the EPC or the value-added chain diagram, you are able to enter here the process base. If not, you can open pictures or something like the videos. This is, for example, a work instruction video we're publishing at the process. It's a very easy instruction how to switch the light. And here's our employee. He's not able to reach that light, and he calls his colleagues to help him. And after that, he gives them some work instruction to turn around, and after that they are able to take it out. And the new one is damaged, so also we are documenting any error problems in there, and we have got any solution. So this video shows in a few seconds how easy it is to make a process, and everybody of us does that in his real life. If I'm make some cooking with my son at home, for example, a cake or something like that, the first thing he's doing is opening YouTube and searching for a video how to cook a cake or how to bake a cake. And after that, we can go to the video, we can go forward, we can go backward, and we don't need any languages, so we see everything with the pictures and everything with this video. This is a very important thing for our people, that they can see all the videos and the works instructions in here. The more important thing is that every employee is able to record such a video and send it to the process owner, and he can evaluate the process, the video, and if he says, hey, this is a cool video, then he is able to put it in the process so everybody can see the video in the next publishing. So if we go to the next screen, we've got something like instruction. Here you see more instruction than in the overview. You can directly print a PDF handout or a handbook in Word. After that, we have got the additional information. Here you find some more information. So this is a very detailed description for the process. After that, you find the roles and system information, so you are able here directly to call or to send an email to a responsible. So in this case, if you have got any problems and you want to ask, for example, here, the Schichtleiter Lieferant, you want to ask him some question, you are able to click directly on the phone number, and if you have got a mobile phone, it will call directly the employee who can help you at this moment, at this point. So if you see in all this app, you doesn't see any EPC or value-added chain diagram, but all the information we have here in the app is modeling in ARIS. So there is on one point a modeler who are entering all the information we need, and on the other side we have got the employees who are able to read all this information we need here. And in the past, we see that the most people are working in a company, about 90%, don't understand and don't need the EPCs and their value-added chain diagrams. This is only for a few parts in the company. The most and biggest part is more interested in such process documentation like videos, pictures, people you can directly call, you can ask, and so on and so on. So then I go back. So at the end of the day, this is our benefits. We were using the training efforts because the handling agents are able to train themselves. We enhance process compliance. That means everybody works on the process like we need that. We're reducing process errors because everybody understands the process and there's not so much questions like in the past. We enhance process management acceptance, means everybody lives now process management. Before that, if you show them the publishing, everybody says, oh, sorry, if this is process management, I don't need that. And now when they say videos, see videos and pictures and so on, they say, oh, process management is sexier than in the past. And the problem to reduce the language barrier we have done with the videos and all the pictures we have on this side. At the end, I want to say thank you for the good project with the Software AG. We have got a pilot with Software AG together last year, and we was very happy to do that, to open the eyes for the innovation of process management. And in this project, we see the point that process management as is today is not very sexy to live. And we have to reach a target at the end of the day that process management has to be like opening your car. It's initial, everybody knows how to do that. And we have to do that process management is in the culture of every company. And I think with this project and with this ARIS Mobile, it's very good to make the first steps to this. And now I hand over to Joseph again.
Thanks very much, Essam, for your interesting and also entertaining presentation on how to use and how to implement mobile in an enterprise management and a process management, of course, context. I would like to sum up right now of what we've been through today. So, well, in a nutshell, enterprise management systems are the base for your success in the digital age because they combine and they manage all your relevant organizations' assets and information. They support the continuous business change that we see and that you have, and it makes it possible for you to increase compliance while staying agile. So enterprise management system will support you to maintain flexibility, but at the same time secure up-to-date process standards and also improve process adoption for better processes and better quality. So, and finally, I would like just to quote Albert Einstein, who states, if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. So if we put it onto the enterprise management system topic, then really it means that you as an organization, you as an enterprise, you need to be able to simply describe, and by the way, we've seen that today, make available, so describe and roll out your structure, your procedures, your standards, and basically the relevant company assets and the relevant knowledge, so in a form that everyone understands it and can benefit from it. So I would like to state, to quote Wouter, and just as he wrote on his slide, just keep it simple and easy, basically. So, and that's where an enterprise management system based on ARIS will support you on the way. So that was my final slides, and I think now, Will, it's time for questions, if we have some and if we have some time.
Yes, Joseph, thank you. So the first question we have relates to ARIS Mobile. And the question is, how was the reaction of the employees to this?
I think this question was for me, so I answer that. The reaction was very good because in the past, if we show our employees all these EPCs and all the ARIS mobile methodology, everybody says, hey, sorry, but this is not possible to understand. And the very biggest part of the company was not able to read that. And the reaction was, hey, this is videos I can go forward and backward, and this is a picture from my plan, and from my shop floor and from my everything. They understand that better, and they began to work with process management. And the reaction of every employee, we show that they, hey, wow, this is sexy, this is Facebook, this is YouTube, this is something I want to use, and this is something I want to have it in my company.
Okay, thank you. The next question relates to customer experience management, and the question is simply, what does it exactly mean in this context?
Well, I think the question was for me, Joseph speaking there. So yeah, customer experience management, that's an interesting topic. So as I said before, you can have the best internal processes in the world. If that's not what your customer expects, if that not fits with your customer processes, you will run into problems. So customer experience management is really here about combining the internal and the external process so that you get the chance to include a customer perspective in your processes. In detail, for ARIS, in this case, it really means that we have dedicated methodology, we have dedicated model types for customer experience management, for example, a customer journey model type that makes it possible for you to combine the internal processes that you have already modeled in your database with the external view, with the customer experience, and combine it with risk, combine it with real running processes in your company, and see, okay, if we change this process, that means that for a customer, or if we have some critical touch points in the dedicated customer segments, that may mean that we need to change the related process in ARIS. So that really gives you the key to combine this information there.
Another question, it's a little bit broader, but the question is, can you speak a little bit more on agility and flexibility? How can we make sure that we're able to adapt to the processes?
Yeah, I think I take this one, maybe Wouter too, but maybe I start. Yeah, agility, flexibility, I think we mentioned that several times today. Yeah, you need to adapt your processes all the time to make it sure that you can react to process changes quite quickly. Basically that means that from a concrete tool perspective, you need one tool that helps you to gather and to collect requirements. So that will be some kind of information and collaboration platform like we have with ARIS Connect. So you can gather information, you can collect feedback, you can start discussion on specific processes, and this gives you the base to continuously improve these processes because you can assess the change request, you can define some changes to be made, and then you can really, based on this collaboration and also some supporting governance processes, really make and implement some process changes, and at the end push that back again to the end user. So you really need collaboration and also governance to make these two topics, agility and flexibility, a reality in enterprise management system.
Wouter, do you want to add anything to that?
Well, I can at least say that it is very, taking it more from an operational perspective, that's very crucial in what we do as well, because one of the major changes that we've done offshore is also to implement the PDSA cycle, Plan, Do, Study, Act, where in essence every single activity offshore is concluded with an after-action review. So that means that basically you look whether or not work turn out as you intended it beforehand. And that leads to really a whole lot of change requests to our EMS, where we constantly evolving our EMS in ensuring that it actually mirrors what is happening offshore. And that means also rather stringent requirements to our change management process. We get about, I think, 200 change requests all in all every single month, and it's key that we process these revision requests in due time, because what we've seen in the past as well is that if you do not do that, then people just get tired of coming with good suggestions and coming up with improvements. So yeah, that is key with us, and we haven't gone into that in my presentation, but basically to accommodate for our philosophy of really anyone can raise a change request, anyone can come up with improvements. We have quite a strong change management process to facilitate that as well.
Okay, I think we've got time just to get one more in. The last one is a quick mobile access question, and it is, did you use ARIS Connect for the mobile app, and how long did the project take?
So yes, we have to use ARIS Connect for that, but it's also possible to integrate the business publisher with the ARIS Mobile. But to get ARIS Mobile access and the users, you have to buy ARIS Connect at the end of the day. And the project was at the end about 5 months. So we need about 6 to 8 weeks to build the app. And after that, we show the app on conferences and meetings and shop floors. And at the end, we need five months to do the project to end that.
Okay, I want to say that we're a little bit past our time, but thank you to our speakers today very much for a very informative presentation. Essam, Wouter, Joseph, to everybody who has joined us today. This will be, the presentation will be available on YouTube later this afternoon, so if you would like to get a copy of this, please just send an email to the webinar host, and we will get that off to you. Lastly, if you are looking to explore where your company is on its digital journey, please visit us at digital.softwareag.com and take a quick 10-minute online assessment of what your digital strategy currently is and what it should be. With that, thank you again to everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and our program has now ended.